Good morning. Let us now continue with our discussion on trigonometric equations. Now we have to do the solution of trigonometric equations. Now the solution can be categorized into two parts. One is the principal solution and the other one is the general solution. Now as we are aware, anything which satisfies a particular equation is called the solution of that equation. So now if a given equation is in terms of trigonometric functions, then it is called as a trigonometric equation, and for that any particular trigonometric equation, if the value of x, that is the variable, it lies between 0 and 2 pi, that is the first circle, okay, then the solution is called the principal solution. And as the trigonometric functions are repetitive in nature or periodic in nature, and with every circle executed, the values of sine, cos, tan, etc. keep on getting repeated. And so if you write the solution in terms of n, where n is an integer, then it is called as a general solution. In our previous video, we have already discussed 6 standard results. First is that when sin x equal to 0, the solution is x equal to n pi, cos x equal to 0, x equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2, tan x equal to 0, we have x equal to n pi, sin x equal to sin y gives us x equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised by n y, cos x equal to cos y gives us x equal to 2n pi plus minus y, and tan x equal to tan y gives us x equal to n pi, where n is an integer. Now all these 6 results are the general solutions. Okay, now let's now start doing the questions which are related to this kind. Okay, so first of all we will do questions based on principal solution, and then we will proceed with the general solution. So now to get the principal solution, we know that the angle lying within the first one circle is called as a principal solution. So let us now consider the 4 quadrants. We all are aware that in the first quadrant, sine, cos and tan all are positive. Let me first write down sine, cos and tan, sine, cos and tan. Now in the second quadrant, we know that sine is positive but both cos and tan are negative. In the third quadrant, sine and cos are both negative but tan is positive. And in the fourth quadrant, we have sine is negative and tan is negative but cos is positive. So as you can clearly see, every trigonometric function is positive in 2 quadrants and negative in 2 quadrants. Okay, so in case we have to do the solution for any trigonometric equation, simple one, like for example sin x equal to half, if we want to solve it, okay, we should expect 2 principal solutions. Same way with cos, tan, etc. Okay, now let's start taking some example. Okay, now example 1, suppose to find the solution of sin x equal to half. It is a trigonometric equation. Now we need to find the solution of sin x equal to half. So what we will write is, we can solve if we can compare 2 sine functions. Okay, so what we do is, we write for what value of x do we have sine as half. We know that sine of 30, that is sine of pi by 6, is half. Okay, but sine is also positive in the second quadrant. So if I write sine of pi minus pi by 6, this also gives me sine pi by 6, which is half. And so I will now, comparing the angles on either side, I get x equal to pi by 6 or pi minus pi by 6, that is I get 2 solutions, x equal to pi by 6 or 5 pi by 6. So if I put x equal to any of these 2 values, I will get the value of sine as plus half. Now suppose I get let me take up some negative value of sine. So let me see how to deal with a negative value of sine. Now suppose let me take minus half only. Okay, so now this is equal to minus of sine pi by 6. Okay, now I can't compare one sign with a negative sign. So I have to first of all absorb this negative sign within this angle. And how do I do so? I know that sign is negative in the third and fourth quadrant. So if I write this as sine of pi plus pi by 6, the angle comes out in the third quadrant, whereas if I write this as sine of 2 pi minus pi by 6, then the angle is in the fourth quadrant, and I get this minus sign gets absorbed, and so I get two values of x, that is x can be equal to pi plus pi by 6, which is 7 pi by 6, or x could be 2 pi minus pi by 6, that is 12 minus 1, 11 pi by 6. Note here 11 pi by 6 can also be written as only minus of pi by 6, because the angle in the fourth quadrant, it can either be written as 2 pi minus pi by 6 or simply minus pi by 6. So either ways you can write this answer or this answer. Now let me take up a value. If let's take some cos function. Okay, suppose cos, I need to solve this expression cos x equal to, let me say, half. Okay, now when is cos half? We know that cos is half when angle is 60 degrees. So I write it as pi by 3. Cos is also positive in the fourth quadrant, so I could write it as cos of 2 pi minus pi by 3, which can also be written as cos of minus pi by 3. Any of these two things we can write. Okay, now so it implies that now we can compare the two cos functions. So we get the answer as x equal to pi by 3 or 2 pi minus pi by 3, that is 6 minus 1 pi by 3. Now here note, we could even write 5 pi by 3 could have been written as minus of pi by 3. So we could have had two answers as pi by 3 and minus pi by 3. Both are accepted. Okay, now let me take up a negative value and see how to deal with a negative value of cos. Now cos of, let me say, let me take it as 1 upon root 2. So minus. Okay, now minus cos of 45. Cos is 1 by root 2 at 45 degrees, and so what I get is, but I can't compare one cos with one negative cos. So this negative value has to be absorbed. So I write cos x equal to, when is cos negative? Cos is negative in the second and the third quadrant. So I write pi minus pi by 4, and it is also equal to pi plus pi by 4. And so comparing, now I can compare one cos with another cos. I get x is equal to pi minus pi by 4 is 3 pi by 4, or pi plus pi by 4 is 5 pi by 4. Similarly, I can deal with a tan function or sec or cosec. I mean, if you want, you can deal with them directly, or if you want, you can convert them into sine and cos and work accordingly. Okay, now let us start. So with this we can do the exercise 3.4. The first question you can solve. First question, all parts can be done. Now let us take up the next one, that is where it is not. Now first exercise 3.4, you can do question number 1, 2, 3 and 4. They are either in terms of cos, sec or cot or cosec or tan. So you can just convert them into sine and cos and then solve accordingly. So let me take up one question each. Okay, so suppose I have let me take up tan x equal to 1 suppose. Okay, so what will I write? We know that tan x equal to 1 when x is pi by 4. So, I write tan of pi by 4. Tan is also positive in the third quadrant. So, I can write it as pi plus pi by 4. Comparing, I get x equal to pi by 4 or 5 pi by 4. Okay. Same way, if tan is negative, we could have done it in the same manner. Let me take it as minus 1. This gives us tan x equal to minus tan pi by 4. Now, we have to first absorb this minus sign. Tan is negative in the second and the fourth quadrant. So, I can write it as tan of pi minus pi by 4 and tan of, either I write 2 pi minus pi by 4 or simply minus pi by 4. Comparing, I get x equal to pi minus pi by 4 is 3 pi by 4 or minus pi by 4. Note, minus pi by 4 can also be written as 2 pi minus pi by 4, which is 8 minus 1, that is 7 pi by 4. Same way I can deal with sec and cot also, and then I can deal with sec and cosec. So, let me take up one sec x equal to, let us say 2. So, either I work in sec only or I convert it to cos. So, I write it as 1 upon cos x equal to 2, which gives us cos x equal to half, which can be dealt with in the same manner as before. Same way I can write for cosec x, suppose I have cosec x as 2 upon root 3, let me take a minus sign. Okay. So, you just convert it to sin x, it is minus 2 by root 3, and cross multiplying you get sin x equal to minus root 3 by 2, and it can be dealt with in the same manner as done before. Okay. So, you can do all questions of this kind, that is question number 1, 2, 3 and 4 of the exercise 3.4. Now, let me take some questions of some different kind of questions. Now, if I take question number 5. Okay. Now, in the fifth question I have cos 4x equal to cos of 2x. So, we solve the same way as we had derived the result. So, what do I get? Cos 4x. So, this can be written as cos of 4x minus cos of 2x equal to 0. This gives us difference of two cos functions, minus 2 sine of 4x plus 2x is 6x upon 2 is 3x into sine of 2x upon 2, which is x equal to 0. So, this give me either sine 3x equal to 0 or sine x equal to 0. So, sine 3x equal to 0 or sine x equal to 0. Now, sine 3x equal to 0 gives me this is equal to n pi or x equal to n pi. This gives me x equal to n pi by 3 or x equal to n pi. These are the two solutions, general solutions for this. In case I want to find the particular solution, I can just put n equal to 0, 1, 2 and then see whichever unique values I am getting for x till the time when x is less than or equal to 2 pi, we take those and report them as principal solution. Now, same way this can be, the other questions can also be solved. Now, question number 6 and 9. So, question number 6 and question number 9, there are 3 terms of cos or sine. So, we solve them the same way as we had done in the exercise 3.3, that we combine the extremes and then take common, we factorize them and then solve accordingly. So, I will just take up one of these questions. So, let me take up question number 6. Okay. So, 6th says cos 3x plus cos x minus cos 2x equal to 0. So, first thing which we have to do is we have to arrange them in the descending order. So, cos 3x minus cos 2x plus cos x equal to 0. We combine the extremes and so we get cos 3x plus cos x minus cos 2x equal to 0. As you can see in the question, they had already given us in this form only. So either it's given, otherwise we write it in this form. Okay, now you combine these two. So what do we get? 2 cos of 4x by 2, that is 2x, cos of 2x by 2, that is x, minus cos 2x equal to 0. We take common cos 2x, we are left with 2 cos x minus 1 equal to 0. This gives us cos 2x is 0 or 2 cos x minus 1 is 0. Now this gives us 2x equal to 2 n pi plus minus, now no, this one is equal to 0, so plus minus y you write, or you simply write 2x equal to 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, or here we have, this can be written as cos x equal to half, which is to be dealt with in the same manner as done before. So cos x equal to pi by 3, and this gives us x equal to 2n pi plus minus pi by 3. So we have, this gives us x equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 4, or this gives us 2n pi plus minus pi by 3. So these are the two results which we have. Okay, now same way you can do the remaining questions are of exercise 3.4. Now one typical question which I want to take up, like suppose I have, these are extra problems. Okay, now now here if I just see in question number 7, if you just see question 7 of exercise 3.4, you have sin 2x plus cos x equal to 0. Here you can simplify this sin 2x as 2 sin x cos x plus cos x equal to 0, and you take cos x as common, you are left with 2 sin x plus 1 equal to 0. So either this is 0 or this is 0, and we get cos x equal to 0 or 2 sin x plus 1 equal to 0, and this gives us x equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2, and here you get sin x equal to minus half, which is minus of sin pi by 3, which is sine of minus pi by 3. I could have even written it as 2 pi minus pi by 3. Now sin x equal to sine of y, this result I am going to use. So x is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised by n. Now here this is minus pi by 3. So we get the result as x is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2, or x is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised by n minus pi by 3. Here instead I could have written it as minus 1 raised by n, 2 pi minus pi by 3, 2 pi minus pi by 3 will be equal to what? 6 pi minus pi, that is 5 pi by 3. I could have also written it as 5 pi by 3. So both are the same results. Okay, now here we have seen that it is one sine and one cos function, but it could be simplified further. But suppose not. Now suppose I have the question is, let me say root 3 sin x plus cos x equal to 2. Suppose the question is something like this. So now it is, now I can't even open it so that it becomes something which we can be taken common. So one way of doing it is, now so what we do, these are some typical questions. So what we do is divide by 2, the whole equation by 2. So what do I get? Root 3 by 2 sin x plus half into cos x equal to 1. Now here there is root 3 by 2 with sin x and half with cos x. I can write any one angle, like suppose I write cos of 30 here. So here it will become sine of 30, which gives me half. or I can take it as sine of 60 and this becomes cos of 60. So either ways I can do it. So let me write in place of this, if I write cos of 30, that is pi by 6 sine x plus sine of pi by 6 cos x equal to 1. Now this is what sine x cos y plus cos x sine y. So sine of x plus pi by 6 equal to, now I have to compare the this with another sine function. So one can be replaced with sine of pi by 2, and now we proceed as usual. It comes out to be x plus pi by 6 equal to pi by, so now we'll write it in the general form as n pi plus minus 1 raised power of n pi by 2, and so I get x equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised by n pi by 2 plus pi by 6 as the answer. Same way, another similar question is, if I have, let me take up sine x minus sine y equal to, let me say root 2, no, sine x minus cos y. If it was sine x minus sine y, we can solve it in the similar manner as we had done earlier, but here one is a sine function and another is a cos function. So now divide by root 2. Okay, what we get is 1 upon root 2 sine x minus 1 upon root 2 cos x equal to 1, and here we can write it as in terms of sine 45 or cos 45. So we can write cos 45 into sine x minus, here it will be sine 45 into cos x equal to, now here this will come out in terms of this, so sine of pi by 2. A similar, and then you proceed the same way as before. Similarly, we could have had a question like sine x plus cos x equal to 1, suppose. Okay, then also since there is no coefficient, the coefficient of both sine and cos is 1 or minus 1 here, we always try to bring in pi by 4. So we divide by root 2. So what do I get? 1 upon root 2 sine x plus 1 upon root 2 cos x is 1 upon root 2. Here same way, cos pi by 4 sine x plus sine pi by 4 cos x equal to, now here also I can write it as sine pi by 4. This becomes sine x plus pi by 4 equal to sine pi by 4. Now using the result, we get x plus pi by 4 equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised by n into pi by 4. Solving, we get x is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised by n pi by 4, and this pi by 4 comes this side, it becomes minus pi by 4. This is the general solution for this question. Now same way, the previous question also we can write this as sine of x plus pi by 4 equal to sine of pi by 2, and solving we get x plus pi by 4 equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised by n into pi by 2, from where we can solve for x as n pi plus minus 1 raised by n pi by 2 minus pi by 4. In the same manner, we can do other problems also of similar kind. Thank you.